Well, as soon as Christie made money, it was gone. At one point, she didn't have enough food to last until her next paycheck. So Christie prayed, and then she heard a knock on her door.
From a young age, Christie Reed was taught the importance of tithing.
I knew my parents were doing it, and so it became an example thing. Oh, I got my tithe too. When I received my allowance, that I would give my $1, for my offering. And so it was an exciting thing for me.
By the time she got to college and started to make her own money, she strayed away from God and stopped tithing. After college, she got a city government job that didn't pay much.
Things became very, very tight financially. It was almost like your pockets having holes in them, It's like as soon as you get money, it's like completely gone.
By 22, Christie was deep in debt from student loans, credit cards, and a car loan. She had enough to just pay her bills, although sometimes she didn't have enough money for food. Then one day, she decided to pray about it.
I was very, very upset. And I said, Lord, I don't have enough food to last me until I get paid again. And so I sat and I prayed and I asked the Lord, I'm like, Lord, I need you to do something. I got a knock at the door, and it was this little lady who I'd never met before. And she said, I just wanted to make sure that you were home. And I said, okay. And she said, I'll be right back. And she came back with a box full of food. This is within 15 minutes of praying. And I was floored. It just didn't make any sense, but all I knew was that God heard me. And that was sufficient for me. And I said, you know what? I gotta do something different.
After that, Christie recommitted her life to God and made tithing a priority. Within a year, she saw God's faithfulness with her accounting job and received a raise of $21,000.
And when I tell you that things like snowballed in such a profound way in my life, it was just unreal. And it was just absolutely mind-blowing the way that God just showed up for me.
Christie started a consulting business as a side job and was able to pay off $30,000 of debt she'd accumulated since college. Within a year, she was giving above her tithe.
I just started giving. Like whenever God put someone in my path, I just continued to give. And I could not give fast enough for the way that God was replenishing what he was giving back to me.
When her pastor had a heart attack and was unable to work, Christie's church took up a special offering for him, and she felt compelled to give. God once again met all her needs.
I don't see how ends are going to meet by the end of the week or by the end of the month or by the next paycheck, but I'm going to just give anyway. God is moved by our faith. He's moved by us believing what he said and just saying, you know what, God, I don't see it right now, but I'm still going to give it.
Today, Christie is still an accountant, and her annual earnings are more than 200% for what they were when she began tithing. She continues to give faithfully and encourages others to do the same.
God makes sure that everything is taken care of. He makes sure that everything is sufficient in my life. I'm going to surrender the budget to you. I'm going to surrender everything to you. I'm still going to have the framework that I can still work by to know what I need to do. But at the end of the day, Lord, you supersede everything, and he has blessed me because of it.
Here's a wonderful promise. It's from Psalm 91. When they call on me, I will answer. I will be with them in trouble. I will rescue and honor them. That's a promise for all who obey the Lord, that when you call, he will answer. I will be with them. I will be with them in trouble. I will rescue them. I will honor them. Those are all wonderful promises, and you saw Christine put them all into action because she believed, she trusted God, and she trusted God with everything, including her finances. Well, Shannon once lived in homeless shelters. Today, he lives in his dream home. He turned his life around after he cried out for help and searched for how to prosper God's way.
Web designer Shannon Pisano has a thriving business with clients around the country. His life, including his beautiful home, is something he only dreamed about as a child, living in trailer parks and homeless shelters.
Growing up in poverty, I missed out on a lot as a child. I missed out on experiences that we just couldn't afford.
As a teenager, Shannon gave his life to Christ, yet he didn't know how to trust him with his money. In his late 20s, he lost his job at the post office after failing a safety inspection. The loss of income caused significant stress.
It was so depressing, and I was panicking. I was stressing.
No longer able to pay his rent, Shannon slept on a Christian friend's couch. In desperation, he cried out to God for help.
As a Christian, I was just wondering, like, what's going on, God? Like I want to prosper. I just couldn't figure it out. So one day I got out of my car and I got on my knees. I looked up to the sky and I cried out to the Lord, like, Lord, please help me. Give me a business idea.
He then searched YouTube for a way to prosper God's way. The results were almost all from one place.
God directed me to the 700 Club, and he directed me to watch the tithing testimonies. And they just planted seeds of hope inside of me that I should be tithing, I should be giving, but I wasn't.
After a year of watching and studying, he finally put those principles into practice.
I remember going to the website and giving my first $20. I can just put my trust in the Lord and just test him in this and see what happens.
Within a week, Shannon says the Holy Spirit gave him an idea to start a website building business.
And sure enough, I got my first client right away, and I sold it for $500. And I was like, holy moly, this is cool. Like, God's like showing up.
His first year in business, Shannon made $70,000, far more than he'd ever earned in his life.
As the years went on, I just kept increasing. God's been increasing me. And the more he prospered me, the more I gave to God above my tithe. And then over the course of 5 years, I've increased over 500%. And it's just been absolutely amazing. And this year is going to be probably the biggest year I've ever had in business. And I'm just so thankful. And I'm just keep going. I'll keep increasing. And everything has to do with tithing and giving.
As God increased his income, Shannon increased his generosity. Today, he gives well above his tithe. One of his favorite places to give is CBN, a ministry he has supported since 2015.
Eventually, I just stepped into the CBN founder role into giving every month. I physically cannot be everywhere around the world to preach and reach the lost, but the money that we send into to CBN, you guys use that money to reach the lost, to preach the gospel, to have the Operation Blessing be in place, and I'm able to see lives change, and I'm a partner of that, and that's so amazing.
From trailer parks and homeless shelters to a brand new home and thriving business, Shannon says God didn't just save his soul, God changed his life by changing his view of money.
When you honor the Lord with your first fruits, with your 10%, God says and he promises that he will open up the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing on your finances. Literally, he's telling us just to trust him with money and to put him first and not let money be your God, and let him be your God, and he's going to prosper you.
Here's the principle from Proverbs chapter 3. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, all of it. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Shannon put that into practice, and what a turnaround story. What a God story he's living right now. It's amazing to see when you recognize it's God blessing somebody because they put their trust, they put all of their trust with all of their heart. And they said, yes, I'm going to live according to God's principles. This is our January telethon where we determine the budget of CBN, the allocation to Operation Blessing, the allocation to CBN International. What can we do here domestically in the United States? What can we do in over 70 nations around the world? And you're a part of all of it when you join the 700 Club. How much is it to join? Well, it's just $20 a month. That translates into 65 cents a day. Some can join at higher levels. We have them, 700 Club Gold, $40 a month. 1,000 Club is $1,000 a year. That breaks out to $84 a month. We also have 2,500 Club, which is $2,500 a year. Founder, $5,000 or more a year. And then Chairman Circle, $10,000 or more a year. Whatever level God is encouraging you to give, do it now. What are we asking you to do? We're asking you to join the 700 Club.